Alright, today we're going to go over the basics of Geometry 2 worksheet. It's very, very similar to the yellow worksheet. It's a pink worksheet, so we pretty much go over the problem there. Alright, this is a lot of the notation we're going to use in this section. Remember, I was calling this math emojis, so these would be like our math emojis. Remember, they're just symbols that are really important in geometry. Remember, notation is extremely important in geometry. A lot of times we're trying to argue stuff, we're trying to prove stuff, to be very, very specific. Uppercase letters are different than lowercase letters. Order usually matters when you're writing stuff. Whether you put a bar on top versus an arrow on top, all that stuff matters. Whether you have two arrows on that bar on top or one arrow, that's a different thing as well. So we're going to start off with the congruent symbol. So the congruent, right here, congruent is it like the equal sign? It has a little squiggle on top. It means that it's like congruent is like comparing two things, where equals is defining something. I think it's the best way to put it. I think I actually stole it from Miss Bornino. So congruent is my identical triplets. They are three congruent beings, right? Because there's three of them. They're the same, but they're different. They're different things, but they're all the same. They have the same DNA code. Right angle. That's a symbol. Angle right here. This angle symbol is huge. Remember, if you're going to express an angle, you have to have that little angle symbol in front of it. If you're going to you're going to say that angle is equal to a degree. You have to have that little m in front. That means measure of an angle. The degree symbol is super important. You need that. This means parallel lines. One that I didn't have on there, you might want to add. So another one that would be very important would be right here is perpendicular lines. Let's think. So segment is two uppercase letters and it has the bar on top. So it's two uppercase letters, not lowercase. Line has two uppercase letters with double arrow on top. It's going to have two arrows on top. So arcs are congruent. So if we have congruent angles, they're going to have the little arcs. So these arcs that go in here, those are going to what makes this congruent. So arcs, congruent angles are defined by arcs. Segments are defined, congruent segments are defined by dashes. So that's kind of the main stuff you're going to need for this section. All right, I'm actually not going to give you the answers to numbers 1 through 4 because I have an electronic version of this document and my millimeters will measure differently than your millimeters on your paper document. So remember, you have to measure in millimeters. You're just going to grab a later. Make sure it's in millimeters. Right, that's huge. If you're using my ruler, remember the dashes. Each dash is a millimeter, so there's 10 millimeters for 1 centimeter. Right, and even though it has a little mm there, that means the numbers go by centimeters on that little blue thing we're using. So that's why I'm not going to give you the answer here, because if I measured mine, it'll be off a little. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's using the segment addition postulate, which basically says I have this entire chunk right here for 17. The red chunk plus the blue chunk is giving me the black chunk. So the red part, I'm going to put x plus 11, and then in blue I'm going to put plus x plus 14 equals 17. Now I'm going to solve. So I put the x's together, and then the numbers, so I put everything together, so I get x's, so I get 2 x's. 11, 14 is 25, equals 17. Now I'm going to use pentos backwards. I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. I end up with 2x equals negative 8, so x equals negative 4. Now, I solve for x. I want to measure everything, so the red piece, I'm going to put negative 4 in for x. So dc is going to be equal to negative 4 plus 11 is 7. CB, negative 4 plus 14, is 10. So CB equals 10. So my red piece plus my blue piece, does that equal 17? And it does. That's just kind of how I check my work. So 6, exact same concept. I have a black piece. I always find the biggest piece first because it's easy for me to just put equal to 20. Now I'm going to do the red piece, which is 4x plus 2, and the blue piece, which is 5x. So together I end up with 4x and 5x is 9x plus 2 equals 20. Subtract 2 from both sides, 9x equals 18, x equals 2. So I have an answer for x. I plug in 2 right here. I get 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So IH equals 10. I don't have to put the bar on top because I am given a measurement. I'm given an equal number. Right? If I didn't have that, I would have to put the bar on there when I'm talking about IH. So HG, I put 4 in right there. So 5 times, or 2 right there. 5 times 2 is 10. So 10 plus 10 is 20. I know these are both good. That's it for these ones. We're going to go on to 7, exact same concept. I find the big piece first, x plus 20. So I know it's going to be equal to x plus 20. Now I'm going to have red chunk, which is 7. I'm going to have blue chunk, which is plus 2x plus 24. I'm going to combine my numbers together, 7 and 24, so I'm going to have 2x plus 31 equals x plus 20. I'm going to move my x to the left, so I'm going to minus x from both sides. I'm going to minus 31 from both sides. So I'm going to end up with x equals negative 11. So that's my answer for number 7. So 2 times negative 11 is negative 22 plus 24 is going to. So I'm going to have my G, sorry. I'm going to have FE equal to, I'm going to have GE equal negative 11 plus 20 is going to be 9. And then GF is 7, so that's work. 7 plus 2 does equal 9. Alright, so once again, we're going to do the exact same thing for 8. Big chunk is going to be equal to 8. So I'm going to take the red chunk, which is going to be x plus 9. I'm going to add it to the blue chunk, which is x plus 3. And then that's going to equal to 8. So I'm going to have 2x plus 12 equals 8. I subtract 12 from both sides, I get 2x equals 4, x equals 2. So I have an answer. Now to find the red piece, I plug in 2 right there. So I say 2 plus 9 is 11. So I think RS equals 11. Now I'm going to plug in 2 right here for x plus 3. So I'm going to get ST equals 5. Oh, and that's it. Alright, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're going to use the protractor. Remember, when you use the protractor, this should be nice and straight because you are going to have a straight edge and a protractor. So I'm just going to show you guys that this red dotted line is about 90. Right, it's not part of the graph. I'm just showing you this. So the first thing you should think of is what's above 90. So like, I know that number 10 is a less than 90. It's acute. When it's going to be halfway. So it's pretty close. That's going to be pretty close to 45. If you guys measure that with a protractor, it's going to be pretty close to 45, and I didn't even use protractor. So but you're going to use a protractor in ours. So 65, I already know 65 is less than 90. So it's about right here. 125, bigger than 90. Like I said, you're just going to use a protractor. You're going to put your dot on it. 25. That's it. All right. That might be off a little bit, but it's around the same. That's it for up to 12. All right, classify each angle as acute, which means less than 90. Obtuse, which is greater than 90. Right is equal to 90 exactly. And straight is a straight line. So 13 obviously is going to be obtuse. It's way bigger than 90 without even measuring it. 15 is going to be obtuse. To me, it looks way bigger than 90. 16 is pretty close to being 90, but now in my opinion, it's not going to be right angle unless it has it there. Since it does not have that there, I'm going to say that's obtuse. I think it is bigger than 90. And then 14, we're going to say is straight. That's it for 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19, we're going to name each angle in 4 ways. So firstly for 17 is, since you can just say angle 1, make sure you have the angle symbol. If you don't have the angle symbol, you're not going to get full credit. Angle D is an option. This is only an option if there's only one angle for the vertex, and there is. There's only one angle. I could also say angle CDE. Remember, it's just like tracing it. So you go C to D, the vertex always has to be in the middle. You could also say angle EDC. 18, very, very similar. Angle 2, angle Q, angle RQP. Remember, Q has to be in the middle. Angle PQR. That's it. 19, angle 4. You could also have angle just K, but most likely you're going to use angle JKL, or similarly you could say angle LKJ. Remember, all caps. So angles, if you can either have 1 point if it's just the sole angle, like you could have 1 point, like we did here, here, and here. One uppercase point, that's the vertex. Only works if there's one angle on that vertex. You could also have a number if they're numbered. A lot of times you'll see numbered angles. And the other part is having 3 capital letters. Alright, 20, exact same concept. We have angle 3. I have angle K. I have angle JKA, JKL, and angle LKJ. And that's for 17, 18, and 19. Alright, for 21 through 24, I told you guys it's about the angle addition postulate, which means that each of the pieces add up to the whole thing. So I always tell you guys the first thing you should find is the whole thing. So I'm going to be looking for UVW or WVU. So I'm looking for UVW. UVW is 19x minus 2. I always find the biggest piece first because then I get to put 9 equals 19x minus 2. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for one of the other smaller pieces. So I'm going to look for CVD or U or UVC. So UVC is 54 degrees. That's the first piece. So I know that is 54 degrees. Now CVW, that's going to be my blue piece. So C to V to W is 7x plus 4. That tells me it's 54 plus 7x plus 4 equals 19x minus 2. Now I can start solving. Remember, I'm going to put all my x's on one side, all my numbers on the other side. I'm going to combine my like terms first. So I'm going to 58 plus 7x equals 19x minus 2. I'm going to add 2 to the left. I'm going to minus 7 for both sides. So I'm going to have 60 equals 12x. Now I can divide both sides by 12. I get x equals 5. So, x equals 5. That means the measure of UVW. Well, to do that first, or UVW, I'm going to put in 5 next to 19. So to find the measure of angle UVW, I'm going to do 19 times 5 minus 2. So I'm going to get 95 minus 2. It's going to be 93 degrees. So I get the measurement of angle UVW equals 93 degrees. Now, just to double check my work, I'm going to find the red piece is 54. And then we'll say 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. So I get the measurement of CVW equals 39 degrees. 39 and 54 does in fact add up to be 93. Do not forget your degree symbol. If you forget that, you will lose points. Alright, 22 is a very similar concept. Once again, I'm going to find the big piece. So MLK is the biggest piece, or KLM. So I find KLM. So I know at the end I'm going to have equal 149 degrees. Now, I'm going to find my next piece, which is MLE or ELM. So ELM is going to be 39x plus 1. Then my next piece is going to be ELK or KLE. So KLE is going to be equal to 36 minus 2. So I'm going to add 36x minus 2. So now I'm going to put my x's together. 39 plus 36 is going to be 75x plus 1 minus 2 is going to be minus 1 equals 149. I add 1 to both sides, I get 75x equals 150. That means x equals 2 when I divide both sides by 75. Let's just pound this backwards. Now, find ELM. I'm going to start with that's the red piece. So I'm going to do 39 times 2 plus 1, so I get 78, I get 79. So the measurement of angle ELM. So I got the little m, the angle symbol, and 3 letters with L in the middle. I'm going to put 79 degrees. Now just to check my work, I'm going to do the measurement of angle ELK or KLE. And x is 2, so I'm going to do 36 times 2, so I'm going to do 36 times 2 minus 2, so I get 72 minus 2 is equal to 70 degrees. 70 plus 79 is 149, which double checks my work, so it looks good. So 23 and 24 are very, very similar, just like the last two. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find UVW or WVU. So I'm looking around, UVW equals 134 degrees. So I always find the biggest chunk first. Now I'm going to find UVL or LVU. So I'm looking for UVL. It's going to be 43x plus 2. Now I'm finding LVW or WVL. LVW is 22x plus 2. So I put my numbers together, I get 43 and 22 is going to be 65x plus 4 equals 134. Pound this backwards as I subtract 4 from both sides. I get 65x equals 130. I do 65 over both sides. I get x equals 2. Now, I'm going to plug it in. So, I'm going to find UVL first. That's 43 times 2. So the measurement of angle UVL is 43 times 2, which is 86 plus 2 is 88, so I think it's 88 degrees. Right? Now I'm going to find the measurement of LVW as 22 times 2, which is 44, plus 6, so I get the measurement of angle LVW is equal to 46 degrees. Add those two together, I end up with 134 degrees, which verifies all the work I've done so far. Alright, so same thing, number 24. First thing we do is let's find the biggest chunk, RST, or TSR. So I find TSR is 19x plus 2, so I know I'm going to have equals 19x plus 2. Now, I'm going to find the first chunk, RSD or DSR. DSR is 14x minus 6. I'm going to find my next chunk. Blue chunk is TST or DST. TST is going to be 43 degrees. Remember, they're adding. So I'm going to add my terms of the left together. 14x minus 6 plus 43 is going to be 14x plus 37 equals 19x plus 2. I'm going to move my 14x to the left side, so I'm going to minus 14x from both sides. I'm also going to subtract 2 from the right side on both sides. That's going to get my numbers on the left side and my x's on the right side. So I'm going to have to put 35 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5, I get x equals 7. So once you get that, now you're going to go through. So the first thing you do is RSD or DSR. That's going to be 14 times 5 minus 6. That's 64 degrees. So we say the measure of angle DSR equals 64 degrees. So that's 14 times 5, so that's 70 minus 6, 64 degrees. Now my blue piece is 43 degrees. And I'm going to check RST is 19x plus 2. So my black, so I'm also going to put the measurement of angle DST or TST. And then I'm going to do my last piece. The measurement of angle RST is going to be 19 times 5. Oh, I messed all of it. Alright, 19 times 5 plus 2. That's it. Alright, and 23 through 31, we're just listing given information. So 23, they're right next to each other, so we're going to say those are adjacent to each other, because adjacent means right next to each other. 26, because of that bar right there, they are complementary angles. You're also going to say adjacent. So complementary means together they equal 90. Adjacent means they're next door to each other. 27, we're going to have adjacent angles again. 28, we're going to have corresponding. Remember, there are two lines cut by a transversal, so they're going to be corresponding. 29, linear pair. 30 is going to be complementary. And adjacent because they are next to each other. Remember, complementary does not have to be next to each other, so that's why you got to put them both down. 31 is going to be alternate exterior. So they're on the opposite sides, but they're outside the two parallel lines. So they're alternate exterior angles. So alternate exterior angles. Alright, that's it for up to 31. So to finish this up, the last thing we got to do is we got to list all the information given by the marks. So remember, I believe this one there's 3 bits of information every time. So in 32, the triangles like this, they remain parallel. So I'm going to put line FH. It's got to have a bar over it. Is parallel to line EG. It's got to have a bar with 2 arrows. They both got to have a bar with 2 arrows. Alright? So that's how many lines. Same thing. I see 2 more lines. This time I'm going to say FE is parallel. That's a double R. The double R's like that mean parallel. HG. The lines are parallel. Alright? Remember dashes. Dashes mean congruent segments. So I'm going to say FH is congruent symbol. EG. Bar. So both those got to have bars over top of them. That's it. 33. I see a right angle. So the first thing I'm going to say is the measure of angle RST equals 90 degrees. You could say that, or you could say segment TQ is perpendicular to segment RS. Either one of those you could say because the 90 bar. I like the measurement of angle RST is equal to 90, but either one of those okay. I see arcs. Arcs means angles. So I'm going to put angle UTS. Remember, T's got to be in the middle. Is congruent to angle PQS. So angle UTS, so I have angle UTS is congruent to angle PQS. All right. Last one is the dashes. The dashes mean congruent angles, segments. So I'm going to say segment TS is congruent to segment SQ, or QS is probably the best way to write it. All right, and that's it for 33. 34, very similar. I see parallel lines. That's what that symbol means. So I'm going to say line UV is congruent, or I mean not congruent. We're going to put parallel to WF line. Now I'm going to say the same thing about FT and WU. So I'm going to say line WU is parallel to line FT. The last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to have my dashes, which will tell me that segment segment WU is segment, so it's a bar on top, is congruent to segment UT. And that's it for 33. Finally, 35. Very, very similar to 33. So the measurement of angle RST equals 90 degrees. Or, like I said, you could say SR segment is perpendicular to QT segment. You have dashes, which means QR is a segment which is congruent to TR. And lastly, you have arcs, so you could say angle PQR is congruent to angle UTR. And that's it, I finished it.